that he was talking to her. And then the woman then left her water pot, went her way to the city, and said to the man, "Come and see the man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ?" So they're marveling at the fact that he's talking to a woman, and she's going out and launching a successful ministry. Because that's what happens. Very next verse. So then they went out of the city and came unto him. She starts a very successful ministry while they're busy marveling over a water pot. Yeah. She's gone. The water pot's all that's left. She says, "Come, can't you just picture this woman?" You know, I get a picture of her in my mind. She's had 5 husbands. She's living common law. Wasn't Tammy Wynette, you know, I've been cheated and mistreated? She was the original cheater and mistreater. Can't you just picture her going back to the city and saying, "Hey guys, come meet a real man." Come on, boys. Let me show you what a real man looks like. Oh, don't all look so holy. She didn't go out to the well expecting to get converted. She was just living life. She didn't have her on her Sunday go to meeting clothes. Come and see what a real man looks like. And so they all came out and met him. Her ministry was successful. Jesus ordained her and said, "Go." She went, and she came back, and she brought them all with her. In the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, "Master, eat." And he said unto them, "I have meat that you know not of." Therefore said his disciples to one another, "Hath any man brought him aught to eat?" And Jesus saith unto them, "My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work." Meat. We have the bread. We have the milk. And now Jesus gives us the meat. Do you know how many times we would need an awful lot less physical sustenance if we would use the meat of God? When we give ourselves to seeking his will and fulfilling his will, we would need an awful lot less trips to the fridge, I believe. What happens is something inside of us is not happy. Something inside of us is crying out for something more, and we don't know what it is, so we run to the fridge and try everything we can see. You know, I'm craving something. Maybe it's a piece of pie. No, that didn't hit the spot. Now, I know I'm not the only one that ever does this. Don't all try and look so innocent. Really, Pastor? Did you do that? So you finish your pie, and then you sit back down, and you go, "Well, no, maybe a piece of beef roast on a sandwich. That will do it." So you go back, and you get yourself a piece of beef on a bun, and you put everything on it, and you try that. And no, that wasn't it. So you say to your wife, "You hungry?" She goes, "Well, not really." "Oh, could you eat something?" "Oh. What?" "I don't know. Maybe pizza." And we do it because we're craving something. There is something inside that isn't satisfied, so we end up wolfing down an extra 1,000 calories and can't figure out why we got such a problem with weight. And we're not meeting the need because we go at the end of the evening and we tried all these different things and we still got a craving. Jesus said, "My meat is to do." My meat is to do. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me. Not to hear about it, not to read about it, not to discuss it, not to argue over whether that's really what it means today or not, but to do it. To find out what the Father's will is, and then to go out and do it, to do the will of God and to finish his work. Now, do you notice Jesus did not do a miracle here? Not in the common, ordinary sense of miracle. See, if Jesus would have turned around to this woman and laid hands on her and cast out a spirit of 5 husbands or whatever, if she would have gone out and cast out 5 devils or whatever, we would have said, there's a miracle. If this woman would have been lame, and Jesus would have healed her so she could go faster, that would have been a miracle. But he didn't do any of those things. What Jesus did was he spoke to her heart, he brought healing into her heart, and then she went out and got the men. Now, did Jesus send her? Yes, he did. He said, you go and get your husband. She wasn't happy with getting her husband. She brought the village. She brought the village. And there was a miracle that took place because Jesus went ahead and did the work of the ministry. The mature man of God, the mature son of God, the one to whom strong meat belongs, tells us what the meat is. Do the will of God and finish his work. He didn't do a miracle of healing. He didn't feed thousands that day. He didn't walk on water. He didn't do any of those other things. He didn't raise somebody from the dead. But he did something greater. He reached out with a message of reconciliation to an outcast of society, to somebody that was hurt and wounded. He showed himself to be an ambassador for the heavenly kingdom. Do you know that's something every one of us can do? Every one of us can reach out to somebody. Don't all look so blank. You were with me till now. You can all have meats. You can all do the work of the ministry. His act was so great that it impacted eternity, and yet it was so simple that each one of us can do it. I don't care if you are 1 hour old in the Lord, and I don't care if you are 100 years old in the Lord. You can reach out to somebody else if you're willing to accept it as being the Father's desire. Last night was a practice round. Part of discipling, part of mentorship is showing how to do it. Everybody saw last night how to do it. You cook a meal and you invite somebody to come to eat.
That's right.
Oh, but that's not ministry. Just as good a big a ministry as sitting and having a glass of water.
Come on.
Hello? But it does mean we're going to have to move out of our comfort zones. Just like Jesus did. It means you may have to invite someone. But each one of us can do what Jesus did here. When we do, we will show ourselves to have been moved from the milk to the meat. Well, that doesn't mean don't ever get milk again, but that means you've moved into a new place of diet. I read a report recently that states that by far the greatest numbers of visitors to stay in a church are those that get invited into the people's homes. It's not like 90-some%. No, we like to come Sunday morning and shake every time and tell how good we are. See, most people are not looking for a family that they can connect with on 2 hours a day on Sunday morning. Or if you go to this church 3. They want a family that will accept their good, their bad, and their ugly spots and still love them. Most people are looking for someone that will be able to accept them just the way they are and continue